All right. We should be live. All right, guys. So, we're gonna do a little Saturday afternoon mow. Just got done with karate, haven't showered yet, so I'm kind of gross. So I figure, why not get even more gross and mow the lawn, right? Why not do that? So that is what we're gonna do now, is we're gonna break out the GM, the 1600. Old Lizzie, old faithful, because you know, the outlet needs to be sharpened. And I haven't taken it. I haven't given it to. I haven't gotten it over to Roland yet, or I might take it just to Real Works in Auburn. I haven't decided yet which way I'm going to go because I want to get it back a little quickly. So today, you guys will get to see the GM do some work. And that's a little bit dark. Let's lighten that up a little bit for you guys. There we go. So, hope you guys are all having an awesome Saturday. Again, I'm just going to get out here and fire it up, and we're just going to go over these stripes that we've got here. And let's see, we got Mary in the house, we got Mark F in the house saying what's going on. I said I'm getting ready to mow today and apply Spectracide once temps drop. Cool. Sounds like a good plan, Mary. I like it. I dig it. So you guys have to tell me how much louder this is, because I don't think I've ever live streamed with the Greensmaster before. So you guys have to tell me how much more noise this guy makes. William Pedersen says, how big is my backyard? This area here is around, let me see, so 11,000 square feet in total now. So this is around 9,000 square feet, between 8,000 to 9,000 square feet in just back here. So it doesn't take too long, as you guys will see, because it's fairly wide open. I don't have a whole lot of obstacles to mow around, which is kind of the plan. Jeremy's in the house. Says, big bro, what's going on, Jeremy? Hope you're doing okay, sir. All right, let's get going on with it. If you guys have questions. Hey, it says Wayne Kelly, hello from Israel. Hey, what's going on? Welcome from Israel. Yeah, any chance of making it brighter? Yeah, I should be able to help with that. Give me a sec here. I can do that. We have the technology. How is that? How's that, Mark? That should be a little brighter now. Let's go ahead and get Bay warmed up. All right, so there we go. Hitumbo. Hey, what's going on, Grace? All right, guys, so I'm gonna put this on minimize while I mow, because you guys know last time I did this with YouTube actually up, we had a bunch of shadow or a bunch of butt bands that happened accidentally. So we're gonna try and avoid that this time. All right, so I'm gonna try and keep you guys in the frame for a lot of this, because it's no good if I'm mowing and you guys can't see it, right? So let's start right here, and then we'll work our way this way. And again, after every time I empty out the grass catcher, or every time I get the grass catcher, I'll check the comments and see if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that. And so it begins. Not a whole lot is coming off because the lawn's under regulation. It's got that primo on it. So I'm not expecting a lot of clippings to come out. The one thing that's kind of interesting, right, is compared to, this is a 26-inch mower, the Greensmaster is, versus the Owlet, which is 27. You wouldn't think that extra inch would make a difference, but it definitely does when it comes to this. What I'm probably gonna have to end up doing is I'm gonna mow the Owlet stripes, like the Owlet lines, and then when I'm done, I'll just make a pass right down the middle to clean it up, to make sure that everything is good to go. You know what I mean? To make sure the stripes are the same width. So once I do get the C27 up and running again after getting it sharpened, I'm not gonna have any issues with overlaps or anything bad like that. So tell you what, though, GM still cuts great. GM still cuts great. And I gotta tell you, compared to the C27, this thing feels like a toy. I mean, they're both equally easy to handle, but there's just so much less weight in this mower that I didn't remember how light it is compared to the mower that I've been cutting with the last few months. For any of you guys that are watching new to the channel, so what I do is I mow double stripes or double wide stripes. The way that works is, if you notice here, there's a dark stripe that's laying towards you guys. This is 2 more widths, so 2 passes wide. So I make 2 passes in the same direction next to each other to achieve that effect. So what I'm doing right now is I'm mowing down a light stripe, which is what you guys are seeing, and then I'm going to come back and mow on the dark stripe coming back towards you. What's left is now this line right here that hasn't been mowed. That is, from your vantage point, a light stripe going that way. So this way I just keep going, making oval, just keep going left each time. Step back around. And guys, just like I suspected, hardly anything is coming off. I mean, if I had to guess how much material's in there, it's maybe a quarter or so. So again, not a whole lot's coming out, which is good. Means Primo's doing its thing. Right, and now one down the dark stripe. Right? And then, now that I've done these 2, so you do them in pairs, is what ends up happening when you mow with using this technique. You end up mowing 2 pairs, or two sets of stripes at a time. So now I'll double back and go down what is now a light stripe for you guys. So, go around, and away we go, just like that. Just like that. So guys, have any of you guys started working on your pre-emergent plans for this fall as yet? It's gonna be here before you know it. It doesn't matter what kind of grass you have. You got 4-season grass or warm season grass. You're gonna wanna get on your pre-emergent app here fairly soon. Because take it from me, it's far, far easier and definitely more cost efficient to prevent weeds versus treating them after the fact. A bag of prodiamine or a bag of diethyl will do a lot for really reducing the amount of weeds you're having to deal with in your lawn. All right, I'm gonna empty it after this one. I mean, it's maybe a third full now. And also what kind of questions or comments you guys have in the chat. So for those of you guys that have watched me mow with the Alex, sound difference, how much different is it? Because right now I'm wearing hearing protection. I've got my my AirPods in, and I've also got Hearing Pro on top of that. So it's like double isolation. So they're like noise canceling, and then on top of that I'm wearing earbuds that will I'll not leave this thing running, that knock down the levels even more. All right, let's see what we got here as far as questions, comments, anything like that. All right, so did you get back the outlet mower already? No, I still got it. It's in the garage. I just have to sharpen it. I got to take I have to take the cutting cartridge, the 8-blade, out to get it sharpened. So got to do that. Let's see. Better thanks. What's up, Ron? Let get it. All right. Let's see, about the C27E, is there a video on how to sharpen your real cartridge if you are in a hurry to get it done? Yeah, so there's not a video on that. I haven't done a video for you guys showing backlapping. I've backlapped it twice. It works. That's the tool they give you for doing that. Electronically works super well, but I didn't film it. It's not really anything, it's not super complicated. I mean, you hook up the device, flip the switch to maintenance mode, and press the button, and then just paste your backlapping compound on, and then slowly work the reel closer to the bed knife, until you get an edge back on it. So it's not really anything super complicated. Height of cut. No, Mark, my height of cut is not half an inch. This is 0.75. This is 3/4 of an inch is where I am at right now. So no, not half an inch at all. You kidding? Half an inch that's way too much work, man. Way too much work. So this is 3/4 of an inch. William Pedersen says, I live in North Alabama and had to put out my pre-emergent early because I have to go out of town to work for 3 months. Yeah, well, it's a good plan, man. I mean, again, when it comes to pre-emergent, early is better than late. I'd much rather you do it early than do it late. All right, Salvador Martinez has a question, he says, or a comment rather, he says, Ron, the main 3 weeds in my Bermuda this time of summer are chamber bitter, spikes sedge, and hairy crabgrass. What do you recommend as a post-emergent? Spike sedge, I've never heard of that one before. And crabgrass. So for crabgrass, quinclorac. For the chamber bitter, chamber bitter Celsius, and then the spike sedge. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that one is. I mean, it's got sedge in the name, so I'd want to lean towards certainty being able to do it. But let me check here really quick. Give me a sec. Let's find out. Okay, let me check to see if spike sedge is on the label. Herbicide. Let's see here. That's a new one. But again, I hopefully certainty will get it. I mean, it gets pretty much everything. Let's see what we got here. And I'm on my phone, so I don't have the ability to really search quickly, but I can just scroll down real quick and look at the label and see what it says. Let's see here. I mean, here's the thing. What I can tell you is I don't have the ability to do search on my phone easily. So, but check the label for it and see if spike sedge is on there. Here's the thing. See, here's the thing. When it comes to sedges, certainty just says sedges annual, globe sedge. I mean, it's got a lot of them listed on here. I'd be shocked if it didn't take care of it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I would, if I had to get a herbicide to try, I would go with certainty. Again, I've never heard of spike sedge before, but as far as the herbicide that works best for sedges in warm season grass, I have yet to come across a sedge that certainty will not kill. So to answer your question, for the crabgrass, quinclorac is going to be your best bet. For the chamber bitter and any broadleaf weeds you got going on, go with Celsius. Okay, it's Kalinga. So if it's Kalinga, then yeah, certainty will do it. So if it's another name for Kalinga, then just get certainty. Certainty will kill your nutsedge, enemy, and all the Kalinga variants. So yeah, you are good to go. Todd Gillespie says, anyone seeing fall armyworms this year? Not me. I don't have any. None in the lawn. Knock on wood. Should stay that way. So yeah. So you got your answer, Martina, Salvador Martinez. Just Celsius, certainty, and quinclorac is what I would say. Is definitely what I would go with. That would be that will get you taken care of. If you decide if you don't already have Celsius and certainty, we have a kit on the golf course lawn store that combines Celsius. I don't know why I choked this again, I didn't need to. That combines Celsius, certainty, a surfactant, and some blue marker dye, all in one package. It saves you a bunch of time and a bit of money. So if you decide you need all those, just go to the golf course lawn store. It's going to be that in Greenland. It's up to not the link, but the green tech that is that's in the corner of your screen, and that will get you all squared away. I gotta tell you, man, there is nothing like mowing with sharp equipment. I mean, it's like, and you know, some of you guys ask, like, how can you tell that your equipment needs to be sharpened? So the first thing is when it starts cutting less good, you backlap it, see if it cuts paper, and if you start running into issues where parts of along the edge of the bed knife is cutting paper but other parts are not, and your tolerances are where they need to be. So it's like, again, for a lot of mowers, it's just very light contact, not enough to where it's bogging the mower down and making a bunch of noise. If after that, after you backlap it and you set the tolerances properly, if it's still not cutting all the way across, again, not just some parts, all the way across, that's a good sign that it's time to go in for a sharpen. Another thing too is, if you listen to the Greensmaster, you'll notice that the sound of the mower, like when it's cutting, I'll shut up for a second, it doesn't really change. You see, like when I'm going through the grass, it's the same sound, same tone. It doesn't really, there's no like peaks or ups or down. When the mower is sharp, it's a lot less work for the engine to drive the reel, and then by extension to cut the grass. So what you'll find is a dull mower, the engine is going to labor noticeably more whenever you're cutting. So, but again, for a real mower, the best way to know is to do a paper test. Do a paper test, check it, and that will be your best way to know. talking, I'm not paying attention. Went down the, why does this one look weird? So I went down the wrong line, that's why. Talking and mowing. But yeah, guys, kind of like, I think it was Todd or was it Todd or William, who was in the chat that was talking about his pre-emergent, that he got his app down a bit early. I am definitely a fan of that. I'd rather you like apply early and even at a lighter rate, so you've got another application still in the tank if you need to, than wait too long and then you end up having to buy a bunch of stuff like selfish uncertainty to take care of the weeds that could have been prevented with pre-emergent. You know what I mean? But different strokes for different folks. Oh, that's so good. Alright, I'm going to point the camera. I'm going to change the angle of the camera so you guys can see a bit better. Probably you guys are missing the awesomeness of the cut for a lot of it, so I walk back in here, so let's fix that. Can't have you guys, a little crabgrass. Come on, buddy. That is the one negative to top dressing your lawn, or at least doing a heavy top dress in the middle of the growing season. My lawn was great. I didn't have any, as far from a weed standpoint, didn't have a lot of weeds in the lawn. And then because when I had it top dressed and they went a bit heavier, you had a lot of open or bare soil, exposed soil, which you guys can probably still see. That is like a perfect breeding ground for weeds to just have a field day, right? So unfortunately, there's no free lunch, right? You always got to give something to get something. All right, let's turn this a little bit that away. And that's a bit too bright. I'll turn that down just a touch. Turn that down just a touch. It's not so blown out. All right. See what comments we got here, if any. Okay, no more moles. No, Mark, no more moles. Shh. Let's hopefully it stays that way. No more moles. And then McNasty Motorsport says, lawn's looking good there. How's the swale growing in? Pretty good. I will show you guys that in a second. It's not 100% grown in yet, but it's definitely a lot of progress since the last time you guys saw the show, the live stream. Zave19 is here. Gus P Music. Yes, can you do the turn trick without using the handle? Toro Gang. Handle meant lever. What do you mean? You mean like a, are you talking about the whip turn without having to turn without having to disengage the reel? I can do that. Let me see if I can get you guys a good angle. I'll move over here to where you can actually see one. Don't challenge me, man. I can, whip turns are my jam. Let's see if I can get one here. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I stay in frame and you guys will be able to see it. So we're going down. So the mower is engaged. You guys see I'm not going to touch the traction, that engages the reel. I'm just going to do one here in the middle and turn out, around, and drop it down. Now, what I would normally do if I'm trying to get it, start the edge a little bit further back, I would throttle back a little bit so the motor starts moving a little bit slower. So I'd pull it back a little bit like this, and then do my whip turn, and then throttle back up. So you guys saw I didn't touch the handle the entire time. I didn't disengage the drive. Motor's been running the entire time. But the way you do it, if you really want to get as close to the area where you're turning, is you throttle back a little bit, swing out, just push, drop it nicely, easily back on the turf. That way you don't scalp anything, and away you go. So, what was I cutting? I think I got to get all the way down here now. So just feather the throttle. That's what I do. Feather the throttle as far as controlling how quickly the mower turns. But yeah, the GM is fairly easy to whip turn. You can whip turn the Owlet too. It has, because it's an electric mower and there's not really a throttle that is, or there's a throttle. There is a speed setting for the traction, for the drive, propulsion drive. But what they have is they have a button that you press it, and what it does is it ramps down the forward speed by 60%, which is kind of cool. So it kind of simulates the same thing that I'm doing by throttling back and then doing the whip turn and throttling back up. See? So, like that. The thing with these mowers, even though they are heavy, if you're using them properly, the mower does a lot of the work. It does a lot of the work as far as like obviously the cutting part, but also as far as just making your turns. It's pretty easy to pull off. Let me move the camera a little closer for you guys. You guys can see that. What on earth? We had a little bit. Come here. Only in the areas where it's wide open, where there's no grass, is where the weeds pop in. Just like that. All right, right here, more challenging, but it still can be done. Let me empty this out, run up, and see what comments you guys have, and I'll also move the camera. Because I know right now you guys are all off in like no man's land. You can't see anything that's going on over there. Other than this silhouette of me mowing the grass. All right, take a sip of my water. Hydration, guys. John, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. John Williams says, hey Ron, just mode 2, and I must say I'm happy I did. Do you know the application rate for centipede for Celsius? And you better hurry, Savannah's getting rain. I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna get rain up here. Unless the rain's heading our way. Probably not today. I don't know off the top of my head. I do not. Check the label. The rate that I use in the video is not the heavier, it's not the high rate. It's not the high rate. 'Cause I mean, here's the thing. If you guys notice, I don't make a ton of videos on herbicides outside of pre-emergent, on post-emergent, because most of the time when you tell people to put only this much down, they don't listen, and they'll put more down, and I don't want people to accidentally damage their lawn. So the rates, I tend to bias more towards more conservative on my application rates, other than pre-emergent. Like that, I tend to apply at the full rate to get at the proper rate to get a get a good effect. But for post-emergence, stuff that can make the grass go ouchy, if you overdo it, that is where that's where I tend to back off a bit. But check the label. Check the label, John, and if there's any special guidance for centipede, it will be there. I don't think there is, but check it. Let's see. Ben Reham saying, mowing looks good. I've been pulling weeds by hand since 11 a.m. It's not a bad strategy. It's time consuming, but it's rewarding and it's less expensive other than your time, right? All right, Xavier19 says, Ron, different topic. Do you recommend a warm season speed zone and Celsius mixture Bermuda here in Duluth, Georgia? You can. Here's the reason why I recommend Celsius and certainty, right? Is that as far as from a temperature restriction standpoint, that it's much broader. Once you start getting into speed zone, T zone, I think even 2,4-D, really once the temps start getting higher, you really got to be careful with those. They will, I mean, they're unlikely to kill your lawn unless you go crazy on the application rate. But as far as discoloration, which is what a lot of people just don't want to deal with, you're more likely to have that with speed zone than you would be, if you just stuck with Celsius and then, like certainty. Like that's why I like that combination. I'll tell you, like a very effective herbicide combination is dismiss and speed zone. Like take dismiss and speed zone and mix them, really good. But your lawn's gonna turn yellow. I mean, think about. I'll put it to you this way, like. Tenacity gets a really bad rap, right? Like a lot of people don't like tenacity. They say, oh, it's terrible, it messes up my lawn, this kind of stuff. Tenacity is actually a pretty good herbicide. The downside to it is that even on grass that it is designed to not kill, it still tends to discolor it. So that's why if you look at the guidance that's on the label from, I think it's Syngenta makes the tenacity, from Syngenta, even they will then now say, don't do they recommend against broadcast applications. Not necessarily because it's going to kill the grass, but because it's going to discolor your lawn. Your lawn will change colors, right? So the similar thing with like cheaper or less expensive Herbicide combinations like Dismiss and Speed Zone are less expensive than, say, Celsius and Certainty. They don't quite cover as much. For example, as far as sedges, there's not really much that's better than Certainty for warm season grass. But the trade-off that you get if you go that route is you're gonna have to put up with some discoloration. You know what I mean? So again, there's no free lunch, and the herbicides that tend to cost more for a reason. It's not just because the manufacturer's trying to make a bunch of money. All right, Petunias 444. I think you're from Chi-Town, right? Is saying, looks good, Ron. Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'll move the camera up a little bit more so you guys are not out in no man's land. And I'm gonna finish up mowing that side, and then we can do this side. Actually, you know what I can do? Let's not do that. I'm just gonna turn the camera and mow here first and then come back and finish that later. How about that? I don't have to move it twice. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? That would make more sense. So let's go this way. You guys see where the tree is? You can see the spots where they went really heavy, right? All right, you can see the spots like right there. Hasn't fully grown through, and way out where I can't get to it. Can I do it? Way out there in the swale area, still hasn't fully grown in yet. I'm gonna grab the mower, come over here and mow this section that you guys haven't seen me mow yet, because it still needs to be cut, and that way I don't have to move the camera twice. See, I think about these things. Oh, itty bitty crabgrass, come here. Come here. Why? Why you gotta do it, man? You don't think I'm gonna see you? You think you really think they're just gonna grow in broad daylight? I'm not eventually gonna see you and you're gonna come out, I'm gonna pluck you out? Come on, man. Come on, you know better than that. All right, let's move the MTU out and get the GM back over here. See, guys, so for those of you that were saying, hey, you should sell your Greensmaster now. You got the outlet now. Listen, you don't just throw out your old shoes because you don't know where the new shoes are going to hurt. And the big thing now that this gets me is it makes my life a lot easier in that. Put it this way. Normally, where did I start? I think here. Yeah. Normally, if I had not, how does it go over again? Normally, if I did not have another mower, I'd be really fast about getting the other mower out, get it scheduled, get it taken care of. But because I have another mower that I can cut with that produces great results, there is, I'm going to do it, but there's a lot less. I'm not really stressed. Okay, so Zabe, you want to see what print a little bit better? So I'll do one really close here. Yeah, we'll get on this line and then do one. That'll make it more easier for you to see. So the trick to doing it is to how can I say it? It's more of a pushing motion. Because remember, these mowers have a differential. So if you lift it, if you just push, it will turn itself. So good example, you guys can probably see there better. I lift it and just push, and it turns itself, right? If I want to go back the other way, lift and then push this way, and the mower turns itself. And you can do a really tight turn. So you can get in here, and again, throttle back, lift it, and you can see I dropped right on the stripe, the adjacent stripe, just by doing that, right? So depending on how aggressively, if it's going slower, it's easy to do that. You just lift it, give it a good push, and it will literally turn on a dime in one area if you throttle back. And then you throttle back up and make your next pass. Right? So that is the trick to doing whip turn. That's how I do it. I'm sure there's other techniques. I'm sure there's other people that do it. Probably will do better. That is how I do it. And again, I am not as gentle as far as lowering it down on the curve as I would be. If you ever watch those guys that mow green, how they do it, I mean, they don't just drop it back on. And then they'll throttle back, they'll do their whip, and they'll just ease the mower back on the cliff. You don't want to scalp or take out some grass or sink in the scalp a little bit. So I guess if I were trying to do it like a green style, or trying to really baby it, but this were not Bermuda, what I would do is I would throttle back, I would lift, and then when I come around, I would easily rest it down instead of just dropping it like I was doing. Right? All right. I gotta quit playing around and end up with big chunks of my lawn not mowed. All right. We haven't done, that's the wrong one. So you guys see how hard this is to do whenever you're talking and not paying attention? So this is the light stripe here. This area right here is where the tree used to be. And as you can tell, whenever they were doing the top dressing, they went heavy there, which is why it's not fully grown in as yet. But it will. It's grass, it will. Throttle left, around, and then down. I tend to do, if I'm trying to turn it quickly, I like to do a bit of a handoff, right? So if I'm going to, like I push with my left and then kind of catch it with my right, if I'm trying to turn quickly, like I'm going towards the house and I really don't want to take a chest running or anything, I'll throttle back, lift, push, catch with my other hand, and then lay it down. That way you can really reduce how long it takes you to turn the mower. So just something to play with. All right, so let's get this stripe here. But that's something cool, right? So that's one thing that real mowers can do. One thing. That's another thing real mowers can do that's really cool that rotary mowers can, I don't know, I've never seen someone do a whip turn with a rotary mower. So, once again proving that real mowers are pretty cool. They're kind of like the sports car of mowing, which means they produce a great result, but they also need all that maintenance. They need the maintenance and special care, you gotta make sure they're kept sharp and that kind of thing, but then you get that. You get the awesome stripe action. Over here, go down. So I'm going down, this is for you, on your vantage point, a light stripe going down, and this is dark, so this one I still need to mow. So I'll make my pass down here, and then do a whip turn to come back down this stripe, and then overlap and come down this one. So you're always mowing, you're mowing a light stripe, then a dark stripe. A light stripe, and then a dark stripe. And that's what I found to be the fastest way to be able to mow like double wide stripes in your lawn. You know, just doing it this way, it doesn't really take any more time than going back and forth, back and forth. Actually, it's probably a bit faster because you're not spending as much time as far as stopping the mower, making sure you're lined up properly, because you're trying to get the next stripe to overlap exactly right. With this, depending on how much you're overlapping the two stripes that are next to each other, it's, you know, you have a bit more play, more wiggle room as far as, you know, where you have to place the mower to still get the effect that you're after. So something else to keep in mind. Swale area, the bane of my existence. This part is easily the hardest part of the lawn to cut. So now, John, I'm not sure if it's you or someone else that was talking about scalping. Like the way I'm mowing it now, you see how I'm mowing it lengthwise, or mowing it this direction? I am much more likely to get scalping marks down there, mowing it this way, than if I mowed this way. So just I can take you guys in there and you can show you. So I was talking about this on the live stream last night, but I can actually show it, which is good. All right, so you see that section all the way down here, like this area of the lawn, right in here. This is sloped. It's kind of like almost like a light half pipe. When you mow an area like that lengthwise, like the way I'm doing it right now, you're much more likely to produce scalping than if you mow it this way. So if I were to mow, actually I'll just demonstrate it so you guys can see. The way that you would minimize scalping in an area like that is, instead of mowing it the way that I'm mowing it, is you would mow it this way. I'll show you. It's not like I'm doing it right now. I'm just taking the mower down and I'll show you guys. So this way you're much more likely to have scalping. If you want to minimize scalp, because what happens, I'll tell you why you get scalped, right? The mower is in an angle. I hope you guys can see that right now. So this side of the mower, even though you wouldn't believe it, this side is putting more weight on the turf than this side. So you're likely to get scalping. You're likely to get scalping on the edges and not the same height of cut in the middle. So it's going to cut lower here, and it's going to cut lower here, and not as low here. So the way you get around that is if you cut this way, right? Now the weight is even going up up this area. You know what I mean? If this were more of a steep slope, that is where mowing it diagonally, like making a pass like this, would be a good idea. You know, diagonal, because now you're kind of splitting the difference. This is not really a steep incline, so with this one you really can literally mow it just up the incline, turn it, and then down the incline. Like that, doing it this way, you're much less likely to produce scalping or you know, cutting problems versus mowing it, you know, this way. So something to keep in mind if you guys are having problems. I know there was people on the live stream last night that had that question as far as some cutting issues that they were experiencing on uneven areas, and like just changing up how you're cutting it will make a difference. So something to keep in mind. Hopefully my explanation and demonstration made sense. Hopefully. And I know that's getting dark, so I'm gonna have to open, get you guys a little bit more, better view. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Let's see if we have any questions, comments. Telling me, you're doing it wrong, man. For the love of everything holy, you're doing it wrong. All right, let's see. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, guys, if you guys don't mind, give me that thumbs up, man. Let's see, can you throw down prodiamine when you level so weeds don't pop up? Yeah, you could. You could do that, Lawn to Learn. Let's see, straight stripes with ease looks good, man. I'm about to do mine as well. Goodness. Go. All right. It says, Ron, are you catching your clippings? Yes, I am. I'm catching my clippings. I am. Devin says, missed yesterday's stream, so glad to catch this one. Guard looks sweet, Ron. It's getting there, man. It's still not 100%, Devin. It's still, it's getting overcast. It is still not 100% as far as fully recovered, as is evidenced by this spot right here. You can tell still the grass is still growing through that area, but there's always something, right? Always something in a lawn that needs to be fixed, unfortunately. C'est la vie. All right, a few more passes down here, and then we'll be in good shape. We'll be in good shape. I'll be able to take the camera over and cut the other section. Let's see. So let's go down. If you guys, Devin works. He's a golf pro. He works on he maintains golf courses. He's been on the show a couple of times. So if you have cool season grass questions, he's a great guy to bounce questions off of while he's around. You know, so there's also that. But yeah, that's how I'm cutting it right now. I'm much more likely to get scalping on this side of the mower and on this side of the mower in that bank area because of how the weight sits. So the way you get around that is your mowing pattern. Don't mow the same way each time, very mowing pattern, and that way you're gonna minimize cutting with you. Like the front lawn, if I cut it lengthwise like this, I have to come back and then do a diagonal pass, or it's gonna look horrible. It never looks good because it just cuts unevenly. So unfortunately, you can't cheat physics, right? There we go. Looking good. Looking real good. Take the mower down over here, and I'll move the camera and I'll mow this section that you guys haven't seen as yet. All right. I do enjoy mowing. You know, mowing is a thing. Out of like all the tasks associated with lawn care, like mowing is probably my favorite. Edging is okay. The thing I really don't like, edging I don't really care for too much, and then dealing with shrubs and things like that is definitely the thing I hate the most. Like I really don't like doing that. Hence why I don't have like trees and flowers and all the stuff you guys tell me that I should have in the lawn, which you're right. you're right, but then you guys are gonna come over and take care of him and prune him for me. Alright. We will put you right here. And then we'll get the people, get the camera, and move it over here. Travis says, Ron, you're looking outstanding, great recovery. It's getting there, still not 100%, Travis. It's definitely better than it was, I don't know, a few weeks ago, but it's still not 100%. Still not 100%, so apologies for the little shakiness you guys are gonna have to endure here for a few seconds while I move this guy over and level it off. But it's the only way for you guys to be able to see the mowing of this section. So hopefully you guys will tolerate it. All right, like so. That looks good, that works. All right, let me grab my mower and let's get to cutting, right? Dang it. See that? See that? See? See? One negative, that's the one negative to top dressing. Especially when they go really heavy where the lawn doesn't recover in just a couple of weeks. So that's the one negative. All right, but the results are worth it, right? It's got to get worse before it gets better. Kind of like verticutting. You'll take a lawn that was looking really, really nice, and then you'll go beat it up, and people will be like, what did you do? It was looking so awesome. Yeah, but if you don't clean it out occasionally, it will start looking less awesome. So sometimes you gotta take a step back to move forward, right? It's gotta happen. All right, put my turn action on. Just for Xavier. So other than watching me rowing, guys, something that's kind of cool. I'm not pretending you guys are a motorsports fan, but the Belgian Grand Prix is tomorrow. They're qualifying. They did qualifying today. P3, they're practicing and then they're qualifying. And I think it's hard to say. I didn't even watch the end of qualifying because a bunch of people are taking engine penalties. So it's kind of pointless to it's going to change regardless of who qualifies first, which is probably going to be Max. He's not going to start first, but it does influence how far back he starts. So my prediction is he's probably still going to win. He's probably going to come in behind him because he's that much faster than everybody else. That would be my prediction. But it is racing, so you never know. You never know. These guys need to be cut. See the shrubs? The shrubs need to be cut back. A few more passes, and then, as they say in Georgia, we will be done. You guys might say that in other states, but in Georgia we say we will be done. Over the sand, and there we go. There's nothing like a freshly mowed lawn. Quite like it. And I do like the double strike. I have to give Roland from Alex credit for that because he looked at the lawn. I was cutting it singles, and he said, your lawn looks really good. And even the 27 inch, you can get away with singles, but given how big it is, you would do much better appearance-wise. It would look nicer if you went doubles. I was like, maybe he's right. Let me try it. I tried it, and I liked it. And So as you guys see, we're now on that double wide line. On that double wide. There. Tiny bit of graphics. So you guys can catch them when they're small. Before they get out of hand, you can pull them pretty easily. When they come out, their roots aren't really well developed. They come right out with practically no effort. I really didn't have to mow today, but let's face it, if I ever really have to mow, I'm probably doing it wrong, right? Hardly anything's coming off. Which is good. It's pretty well doing what it's supposed to do, right? So what I'll end up doing more than likely is, unless there's some really wild temperature shifts here in the next few weeks, which I kind of doubt, I will do an application for the beginning of September, and then one more for the middle of September, and then reevaluate. So for the month of September, I'll still have the lawn under regulation with Primo, and then, like I said, we'll reevaluate here in a couple of weeks and see if I need to do an application in October. Probably not. If I do, that would have been the first time I remember applying it that late as an undertaking. I don't think I've ever applied with regulator in October. I'm trying to think. I don't believe I have. You can check my log and see if I don't believe that. September, yes. October, not so much. One more pass, guys. Uno mas, and we're almost done. So we got one more right along the fence. And with this mower, mowing along the fence is a colossal pain because you have the big, like the drive axle that sticks out. So I gotta be a little careful so I don't make a big ouch and then hang the mower up on the fence. Yes, I know I could remove the axle, I could pull them out, but then that's another step. That means I gotta take them out. And when I'm done mowing, I gotta put them back on. Which, again, that's more work. Or I can be really, really careful when I mow along the edge here, and when I don't cut, I can come back and get with the rotary scissors, which I'm gonna have to do anyway, right? So even without the axles, the mower won't get close enough up here to where I don't have to edge it. So whether I have to edge 2 inches or edge 5 inches, I mean, it's a bit more work, but it's not, at least I'm not banging the mower up and tearing the fence up in the process, right? Which is good. My neighbors appreciate that. Probably better for the mower. And voila. Here's the wheel. Empty this guy out. Let's see if you have any questions, comments. See what we got left here. 27 folks. So some of you guys have popped in a little bit and then left, it looks like. All right. He says, Brew Crew Fishing says, I need to try double stripes. It's not really that hard to do, Brew Crews. Like I said, you're mowing a pair at a time. You're mowing a light and a dark at a time. So if you've watched this video or seen me do it, you see the technique that I use. If you mow doubles both ways, it doesn't slow you down. It's really no faster or slower than going back and forth than the singles. Let's see. Lawn to Learn says single double is my favorite. I can see that. Single doubles looks pretty cool. Ron says, wear one of those hats with a hose attachment and a Cole Guinness. So Alex he has one of those. He has like a backpack with a little, the hose, like the straw. I think he mainly keeps water in there. Can't say for sure, but he does use one of those. And then Lawn to Learn says, Ron's a lemonade guy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to drink beer when I'm out here mowing the lawn. That's a great way to get dehydrated, because you can't just have one, right? You can't just have one. When I do have a beer, I like to enjoy it. CMath says, what's Scott first to apply if I want an aggressive growth this last month on Bermuda? I don't know. I'm not sure which Scott's product you should use. I guess, why do you want aggressive growth this last month? I mean, the way to do it is just, you push a bunch of nitrogen, but the question would be, I guess, why? Why do you want it to grow more aggressively now versus like the rest of the season? You know what I mean? So, well, cool, guys. Let's see, guys. I appreciate all the guys hanging out in the chat, asking a few questions and watching me, do some lawn work. I know some of you guys like it, so I figure I would just do it and take a few questions while I'm out here. So I appreciate you guys. I think I'm going to sign off for now. We'll call it, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys next time. I'll go finish mowing in the front, and then call it good. Call it good for today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys. Take care.